Good day and welcome to something quite spectacular. All thanks go out to Nightcat06, and he has been experimenting with a couple of virtual machines which run 6 bots at once, and he did a little team game. So as you can see, he also improvised something with the automated observer. And on the left hand we see a team comprised of a big game hunter bot, which is a bot by Mr. Nightcat himself, Microwave, the top Zerg of the moment, and krasi0, number 2 Terran of the ladder, as we will soon see. And on the right hand we've got a team comprised of krasi0, Protoss, Zerg, and Terran. And as I understood, the camera will switch according to what's happening where, and perhaps cycle through all these players. I can't really speed it up at this moment, and I can't, well, I've got the mouse pointer, but it doesn't really do anything. So that's one of the downsides of having this beautiful game played like this, that it's rather hard to cast it. I didn't have the replays, and I wanted to show you what it looks like with the automated observer software tweaked to handle multiple games. And I thought, well, this is a nice game, and while it's starting I can't really speed it up. Well, I could, but it's not really worth it, and it's not all that long. I think, no, it's about 20 minutes, so perhaps we'll discuss, or I'll discuss some things which have happened over the last couple of days, since it's only been a week since we've been on. Iron still is the number 1 bot on the ladder, krasi0 still number 2, but number 3 is Microwave. And Microwave has been working really hard, and it shows, so that will be something that is quite spectacular. A Big Game Hunter bot is not on the Student StarCraft AI Tournament's ladder, and that's mainly because it only plays Big Game Hunters for a living, and we don't really have that in the map pool because it's such a wacky map. Then again, well, let's see how it's going to play out. So as the red Zerg we've got Microwave, as the teal Terran we've got a Big Game Hunter spot, and the white Terran is krasi0, which first-person view we see in the left at the left side of things. At the right side we see krasi0 Protoss and krasi0 Zerg as the blue Zerg, krasi0 Terran as orange. And well, seeing this from a Protoss perspective, we have got what have we got? It's really confusing to see this play out, because right now we are seeing a scouting action, and I don't really know what I am supposed to focus on. For the time being, I think we've got the krasi0 Protoss on both screens, and now we've got krasi0 Zerg on the right, going for an expansion. I think that's a decent plan. Also very pro to take just another main base, because you've got more mineral patches there. And before anyone suspects any serious commitment or serious go-sooners, I think that it's more about luck and chance, because none of these bots have been optimized for Big Game Hunters, save Big Game Hunter bot by Nightcat. And well, a couple of them can handle team games, so that's also a development which has been going on in Brood War AI. Well, it's not really research, it's development. Is that these bots can handle, under certain circumstances, team games, so they will actively protect if their allies are under attack, or try to attack simultaneously an opponent, which is then gangbanged and hopefully killed. So for now I'm going to try and do my utmost to keep these players' names correct, and say, well, on the right side and on the left side, but it's very hard to actually cast this, because at the right side we see krasi0 Zerg, and now it's switched to something else. It's switched to Terran, I think, and on the left side we're still seeing krasi0, and now I don't know. Left side has focused on an area which isn't there, and on the right side we can see TSCMU with 2 bases, a Hydra Den, and making the first unit. It looks like TSCMU Zerg is doing its usual Hydra build, and of course we are seeing the overlay on the right side of TSCMU Protoss, so I don't really know how that's supposed to work. And now it focuses on some dark patch on the map. We now see Microwave. Microwave appears to have, whoa, it says, okay Google, let's create an army, and it also says that on the right side, so it's not really chatting to its allies, it's just dumping stuff in general chat, which is nice. And then we have TSCMU Protoss on 2 screens going for more and more Zerglings. And I'm going to use my mouse pointer now, because you can see here on the right side on the minimap that we've got quite a few Zerglings massing up, and that's always nice to see, because TSCMU Zerglings are pretty good, and they've got the best group attack movement of all AIs at the moment, so let's see what they're going to do. For the moment they're trying to keep their distance. At the other side we see most players of team left to just mass up an army and try to do things a little bit more slowly. Of course, that's TSCMU Protoss. All TSCMU save Terran have got an extra base, so that's good for extra income. Of course, the Zerg will greatly benefit from the extra hatcheries. And on the other end of the map, all the players are still doing it on 1 base. Now TSCMU is going to grips with, it looks like Big Game Hunterbot, but Big Game Hunterbot has got Marines and Medics, and Pure Zergling is not really up to that. TSCMU Protoss meanwhile killing the Overlord of Microwave, and there is a battle going between TSCMU Terran and Big Game Hunterbot, which we are not being shown. You can see it, or you could see it here on the micro map, and it looks like Big Game Hunterbot is gaining the upper hand. We now see a small clump of Marines, and the Zerglings of TSCMU came to help but didn't really do much. And now Big Game Hunterbot seems to have dealt the first blow, won the first victory, and TSCMU's Terran is on the back foot. TSCMU Zerg meanwhile has taken another base, and krasi0 is moving out with some vultures. And if we look at the production queue of TSCMU Protoss, we see that's going all out tech. It's going to build a robo facility, a Reaver, cyber core, and a shuttle, so that will be interesting to see as well. Now krasi0 taking a natural, moving out a little bit, always good. It's going to do that slow, meticulous Terran push once again, I think. TSCMU is going for more Zerglings, it looks like. The third base isn't up yet, so I presume he's a bit stuck on having not enough larvae. But Big Game Hunterbot is there with a Marine and Medic force and is attacking the hatchery now. TSCMU is trying to save it, but it's not really coming off the ground because Zergling Hydra isn't really up to fighting Marine and Medic. So, but for the time being, it seems like why is Big Game Hunterbot pursuing krasi0? I thought it was a team game. And it is, but they are... Oh, it's trying to... There are Protoss units here, which are not being shown. Oh, there's a scout, and they come to help krasi0 fight off the one scout, thus ignoring the third expansion of TSCMU's. And meanwhile, we see krasi0 on the right side, trying to fight off the Zerg. The Zerg not engaging. It looks like, for the moment, krasi0 is doing quite well. TSCMU Protoss is still untouched, and Microwave is sitting back on 1 base doing God knows what. There are some units out on the map, but until... Oh, TSCMU Protoss coming in with a shuttle on the right screen, and now things are going to get hectic. They kill 1 tank, losing 1 shuttle, and krasi0's vultures are killing or attacking the third of TSCMU. Now on both screens, so... That's pretty pro, but there is a scout coming off TSCMU Protoss now chasing off the vultures, and of course a scout can't really do much against all these Marines of Big Game Hunter bots, and Big Game Hunter Bot is sitting in the top right corner and doing its thing, just occasionally sending out a flood of Marines and Medics. Oh, and the Reavers are doing lots and lots of damage, but in the end siege tanks trumped Reavers, and krasi0 harassing the third of TSCMU Zerg. So this is things are starting to heat up. TSU Zerg now with the lurkers, but they aren't really doing anything. They are actually running from a single marine and a vulture, so I don't know what that's about. Perhaps we're going to find out in the near future, but for the time being, TSU Protoss with a mech charge taking care of the marines and medics of Big Game Hunter bot. Meanwhile being flanked by Microwave, but Microwave is not really getting its show together. It's just sending out units one at a time. And as there is a small mech force of TSU Terran on the map, it's not really working. TSU Protoss meanwhile harassing krasi0 with a single scout. And a lot of lurkers, as you can see on the right screen. Oh, now they are finally moving out, trying to chase off a single vulture. That's very brave, and I think it's going to go down. Meanwhile, TSU Protoss coming to grips with a couple of marines of... oh, that was a splashing. Big Game Hunter bots, a couple of scarabs, and that's done. TSU Zerg seems to be growing very strong because he's got two mains working for him, and a third in the middle of the map as well. So resource and larvae wise doing quite well. And the thing is, if you let TSU Zerg go on too long without pressuring it, it is going to hurt you in unsuspected but very nasty ways. Meanwhile, a couple of scouts and a shuttle reaver in the main of krasi0, and the reavers are doing so much damage. It seems there aren't too many tanks, and oh, there's one, and now the tanks start blasting the reavers. Oh, and the Goliath killing the shuttle almost, and it gets away. I don't know with how many health, but that's the battle of krasi0's main for the time being. It's must be unfortunate to spawn close to TSU Protoss, which does a reaver, and oh dear, that's a ballsy drop of two reavers in a couple of sunkens. And now things are going to get really hectic, and I'm actually glad for this automated observer, because I couldn't really do a 3v3 with 3 AIs which do things all over the place. It really can't be done. As you can see, krasi0's base suffering a little bit of damage. Oh, and TSU Zerg now attacking Big Game Hunter bot, and there are a lot of lurkers in there, so I don't think that Big Game Hunter bot, unless it's going to receive some assistance from another player. Oh, but TSU Zerg is moving out, as you can see on the minimap. And on the right side we see a scout harassing krasi0's base. So krasi0 is being targeted from two sides, not really working. And as you can see on the minimap, there are some orange dots in Big Game Hunters, so the top right green Terran's base. And that means that Big Game Hunter bot is under a lot of pressure, and TSU Zerg is unhindered. Oh, look at that, and there is just a big blob of Zerg and Terran in the middle of the map. TSU seems to really run away with this thing. Oh, and a nice scarab hit on the tank. There are a lot of scarabs flying about krasi0's base. A matrixed Goliath seems to not quite be able to clean things up. And as you can see, TSU Zerg now on hive. Ooh, and the tank's still doing damage to the reavers, but krasi0 under a lot of pressure. But of course krasi0 can handle quite a bit of pressure because it's still the best defending bot there is. Meanwhile, Big Game Hunter bot seems to be shut down because there are still Zerg in its base. The buildings seem to be falling, and although the camera is focusing on krasi0's base on the left and on some patch, no, 2 times on krasi0's base. krasi0 is under a lot of pressure, and as you can see on the right map, TSU Zerg is all over this. The SCVs of Big Game Hunter bot seems to have been snuffed out, and as soon as that base is gone, the entire map on the right side will belong to TSU Terran and TSU Zerg. krasi0 meanwhile going strong, growing its mech base. It's on 120 supply, which is pretty decent. And then again, I think we are seeing TSU Protoss 163 supply, going way out of control. And with Big Game Hunter bot being cleaned up, it can only be a lot of trouble for Microwave and krasi0. Microwave is really not really coming into its stride. It's not really enjoying this team game very much. Oh, and look at all, we've got a wave of queens for TSU Zerg. And the scouts of TSU Protoss are all over this. krasi0 growing strong though, still increasing in supply, fighting very cost efficiently with the tanks against the reavers and the scouts. Of course that's a good battle, but now oh, we see a storm coming from somewhere hitting something, and I think we've got a nice range of spellcasters engaging upon Krasio's position. Krasio now struggling to maintain that 120 supply. Meanwhile, TSC Protoss going off the wall, and we see Matrix vessels, queens over. Oh, and Krasio say, well played, Big M Hunter bot, but it's gone. TSC Protoss and Terran killed it. And now the pressure will be on, because as you can see on the left side, Microwave is being engaged as well, and then it will be Krasio versus the map. And if the map consists of 3 TSC with nearly infinite minerals, it's going to be a big mess. And look at all the storms going off, and that was a brief glimpse on the right side. Occasionally you get a brief glimpse of Microwave's main base, and we've got a Dark Archon. I don't know. Oh, it took a science vessel, I think. So now we've got a science. Oh, we had a science vessel under Protoss control, disregarding all the science vessels under Terran control of TSC Terrans. Krasio 136 supply. The game is now really on, because I don't think Microwave will be long for this map. And TSC really putting all the stops. The Protoss not really maxing out at this point, struggling with the minerals and the gas, but reaching 180 supply. Krasio still growing in supply, that's good. 120 earlier, now 140. But as you can see, Microwave is dropping quickly. Only a few buildings left on the minimap, as you can see. Only the main hatchery. Oh, we've got a Dark Swarm. We've got a Queen. We've got and snared SCVs. We've got Swarm. Krasio still on 140 supply, and then the last layer of Microwaves is being taken down. Ooh, and Microwave leaves the map, and now the entire wrath of all 3 TSC is converging upon Krasio, and Krasio, although it can defend quite well, it's I wouldn't like to be in its position really, because that's not something you'd ordinarily like to see. Now the Lurkers come in, and the Swarm, and the Queen, and the Scouts, and it's going to be a big mess. Krasio holding for the minute, but the Lurkers aren't advancing upon the position, and now Krasio is going to drop, and I think quite quickly, because all the SCVs have been ensnared. There are Templar, there are Reavers being dropped in the main, Lurkers moving up. Krasio with the tank position, with the Goliaths, doing very well, only losing a handful of supply, and killing a lot of Queens, and oh dear, getting ensnared once again. A Matrix Wraith doing some kind of harass versus a Goliath, and Krasio actually holding strong for the time being, even harassing itself. There is something going on, as you can see here on the minimap. We had a brief glimpse of it there, but I think TSC Zerg's got so many units, it's going to end relatively soon. Krasio, meanwhile, going from 140 to 130 supply. Now it's completely contained. It's got TSC Protoss on the left, Zerg on the right, and in front of it it's got TSC Terran. And now we've got all kinds of nasty things, multiple High Templars being dropped behind the mineral lines. There are Lurkers everywhere, and Reavers and Scouts, and it's just going, it's got a nice choke, but how can you defend against this? And on the right minimap you can see the dominions of TSC. The Terrans got 4 bases, the Zergs got 5, Protoss got 3, and it's just one big max mess of units filtering in Krasio's choke. Krasio, of course, has got a very good position, but now only 1 base, and it's not really, oh dear, the Protoss and Terran units, they are blocking their way into the Terran base. As you can see on the right map, the right side of the screen, you've got all kinds of units, and now the Protoss is going to move in, move out. Krasio doing a lot of damage. I really like to see how many units it's got killed at the end of things. The mines are going crazy because they can't really reach the enemy, and now the Zerg and the Zealots and the Dark Templars are in there. Krasio down to 100, below 100 supply. There's stuff going on all over the map, and as soon as that swath of Zerglings hits the Terran base, it's going to be over so soon, because these things have got insane APM, and all the Goliaths in the world can't really help them. But we've still got the Matrix Wraith doing stuff, now cloaking. We've got Scouts, now the Swarm going off in Krasio's main base proper, and the Zerg is going to go in. The choke has been breached. We've got goons, we've got zerglings, we've got scouts, we've got a battle cruiser and all, and krasi0 still fighting for dear life, but it's just too much. The base is covered in swarms, in blood, in dead zerglings, in lurkers, and there is still so much coming. You need a couple of nukes and then it still keep coming. At this moment it's just like a big game of tower defense, and it's the last level for which krasi0 hasn't got the units to hold them off any longer. 75 supply, all the TSC moves are lining up, blanketing krasi0's base in swarm with the air support. And one lone Goliath is fighting off the swarms, but there are lurkers in the SCV lines, it seems like. And although that turret is doing quite well, there are so many zerglings. Cloaked and Matrix Wraith is doing stuff. There are Reavers in the main base, and now the harvesting has been shut down. krasi0 dropping to 36 supply, and the TSC moves have their way. And it's, I think it's partially due to Microwave not making any concerted effort, and a big game Hunter bot only doing Medic Marine. But these three TSC moves are such a sight to behold. Look at the base of krasi0. It's crawling with everything, and expected to tap out anytime soon. So if you want to experience this kind of madness firsthand, go visit their website. If you can, do virtual machines, and we'll get the score screen next, hopefully. Yeah, that's the score screen. Oh dear, it's grays out if I pause it. So very quickly, TSC Zerg with all the units, and krasi0 with a massive score, and that is the game for the time being. So if you'd like to see that, you oh, let's have some music too. You can visit our website, and all the stuff to play these team games of AIs is there. You can install everything, play everything, and if you'd like to take on 3 TSC Zergs yourself, please do so, but be sure to send me the replay, because I'd love to cast that. If you can actually at this moment hold 3 of the top bots simultaneously, you are doing something very right. And I'm not saying it can't be done, because these bots still are not comparable to human levels of play above the average player, but if you can hold off 3 of them on big game hunters, please let me know, send me the replay, it would be awesome. I can't. I lose to any of the TSC moves, to Ironbot, to Killerbot, and I didn't try Literbot, but perhaps I could hold Literbot still. And all of these new Protoss and Zergs, I'd have a hard time fighting them. Of course, infinitely more fun than a built-in AI, but yeah, that's the way things are going. Finally, I've got my OpenBW replay viewer back, which means I can actually control the screen, and I'm no longer dependent on the automated observer showing me what I need to show. So this map is Zer, as Zerg, as the name implies, and Microwave also as Zerg. And Zer's announced that he had updated ZVZ prowess, so let's put that to the test. And a little bit softer, because that sunken colony was very loud. I think that Microwave is a good adversary. Both players going for a similar build, one sunken pool and a lot of lings. And the scouting drone snuffs it. Now Microwave trying to engage Zer, and these units aren't really catching up to the front as they should. Within a certain distance they are used as one control group and moving back and forth simultaneously. Zer going for a very quick lair, and Microwave saving up money, I think going for an expansion. So we'll have a tech path versus a macro path for Microwave, of course. And Zer going for the early spire, and it might have been nice to have that sunk a little bit more here so it could cover the mineral lines as well. But for the time being we've got a standoff between lots of Zerglings and a couple of Zerglings and a spawning pool sunken. Meanwhile, the hatchery of Microwave is finishing fast, also going for a lair, so we'll have Mutas a little bit later. Still a couple of Mutas for Zerg will be on the way soon. These Zerglings of Microwave will be reinforced slowly, and they are running back and forth too much. I don't know what that's about. and now increasing in number in the face of Zer, but the muters are ready. The muters are ready, and the Spire of Microwave has even just started, and now it seems like the Zerglings of Microwave can't get anything done. The muters of Zer though are sitting about, and that's not something you'd like to do. If you'd have 1-2 here, before the Spire is done, 1 here, you could kill almost any drone in a Microwave base. And I think that is something to work on, because if you are going to do an aggressive one base muter strategy, you've got to use the muters, and not only for fending up some containing Zerglings, because that's obviously not worth it. Meanwhile, Spire finishing up for Microwave, and Microwave now with the worker advantage, and this is going to be a spore colony, an evo chamber, so we can build spore colonies. And where are the muters? The muters are there, so the lings of Microwaves are falling rapidly, and only now, the muters of Zer are flying out, killing a muter, killing, I think, an overlord or 2, and a couple of Zerglings, but with the eco advantage Microwave has. Oh no, they're going after, oh, they almost went after these few lings, which isn't worth it at all. The Scourge of Microwave, oh, let's slow down because we need to see the micro. Ooh, and that's not good muter micro, because you first hit all the Scourge and then not kill the drones. That you really can't do. Meanwhile, going for one more in-base hatchery, taking another couple of Scourge, and that's not good because... oh, I missed it. The lings of Zers are in the natural of Microwaves, and now Zers in the advantage with the workers. And the muter flock is incredibly strong, because Microwaves only got a half army supply, and now 0. The natural is going down, it's got 1 army supply in Scourge. That was not the right decision. The drone numbers have been severely depressed because it tries sending workers here for some reason, which it shouldn't do at all. Now the muters of Zer are coming in, and I need to make this a little bit quieter. The spore colony is doing pretty good damage versus these muters of Zers, and a couple of muters of Microwaves are being built, but it's not enough, I fear. I fear it's not enough, because Zer's got this one by the balls as they speak. The lings come in to kill the Sunken, and as the Sunken dies... oh, the Sunken doesn't die for some reason. All Zer's army is pulling back, and I need to throttle this a little bit more, because it was pretty loud. And Zer is going to take this eventually, I think. I'm going to speed it up just a tad more. But the mutant numbers for Zer, although it really doesn't have Micro Scourge at this moment. And why aren't they fighting off this one damaged muter? It's quite beyond me. Now the Scourge are coming, and the Scourge are being swallowed and all, giving Microwave a chance to get back into this game, but I really would like to know what this is about. Now trying to kill the Overlord, yeah, that's easy. Only now going onto the warpath. Oh, and the Zerglings are doing things. So the muters are really only used for decoration. The Zerglings are real damage dealers, and Zer's are taking out Microwave, so it's something maybe said for having improved Zerg versus Zerg capabilities. That's pretty well done. And now we are going to go into the next game, which is McRave, which also received an update. McRave playing as, hey, the blue Protoss in the top right corner, and Aya by Florian Rishu in the bottom left. This is a big map, and both players quite capable of laying down a nice macro game. Oh god, I did it again. Sorry. Trying to select things again. That was my mistake. And there we go again. So, yep, there we go. Initial stages sped over. Oh, not so loud. And that's a 2-gate by Rishu. Scouting probe. Oh no, let's not select too many things, because it seems to hang the OpenBW replay viewer for some reason. 2 gates and a slightly earlier call by McRave. As you can see, no units being produced, both bots going very eco-heavy. Aya going for a handful of zealots, going to do some kind of push, I think, two goons of McGraves trying to figure out what's going on, but if they see all those zealots they think, well, let's not today. It's a beautiful day to die tomorrow, probably. And now more goons are coming. So, all things being equal, and the micro, oh, that's not things being equal, because if you let 3 goons get stuck there, they're going to suffer. One gets caught, might die, no, just barely makes its way out. And the first blood is drawn by McGrave. McGrave with better micro, but all these units are so prone to get themselves cut off and swallowed piecemeal. I don't really think that could be the big idea, because what could these goons be doing here? And we've got 2 goons there, we've got 1 here, and the army movement is going way out of whack. The natural of McGrave is finished now with a Reaver, and the Reaver's crawling, so it might take a while. Aya going for more gateways, some upgrades, and a slightly later natural expansion, but I can't really fathom why these units of McGraves are swarming about so much. Now going for a kill on a couple of goons, and the Reaver nabs 1 too. So supply wise, McGrave in a small lead. Of course the natural of Aya's isn't up and running yet, and McGrave's natural is fully saturated mining minerals and gas. With the tech advantage, it's going to be a hard fight for our friendly neighborhood Aya. And, ooh, 2 zealots nab a goon, despite being quite standoffish and not really wanting to engage enemy units all that much. But this worker lead of McGraves isn't that big. The army lead is getting out of control, because Aya just keeps sending in units one at a time, and that's not really something you should do too much, because it looks like this. The zealot gets 1 hit in and then dies to about 10 goons. And you keep losing supply that way. The Reaver is in the rear, trying to reach the enemy base by crawling, and I really think that you could make a shuttle for that, because Reavers aren't the fastest units. Now the natural of Aya is up, but by now there are so many goons in the base, even in the main, and I don't think even, well, there's a Templar archive, so perhaps with a couple of Dark Templars you could do something to bring this back. But there is a lot of firepower and an observer for McGrave, and that's really the big difference between a bot which was updated 2013-2014 of one that's about 3 or 4 years younger. It's just so much more aggressive and so much more on point that it's not really fair at this point anymore. Second Reaver catching up, and all the probes have been ferried to the natural for some reason. That's quite silly. And that's the game, because I haven't got money, there is a big army, well, it's going to take a while before this ramp's cleared. Taking a third. Okay, going into the next game. So, McGrave doing pretty well. Let's see how it fares against Ironbot. And Ironbot is such a nice bot, because it's been number 1 for so long. It's got a win rate of 86%, and that's quite something, because no human player ever achieved that. So if you are going to bring an update, the ultimate test is how do you do against Ironbot. And Ironbot is very harassy. Now with a slightly more safe play in the form of this night's war. No units, very slow, so very lots of SCVs, and then 1 Marine to keep down the scouting probe, but isn't really doing so because it's messed up in some way. And the first goon of McGraves is coming over, and there is, oh, the first tank is there too. So, for the time being, I think Iron seems to have got things well under control, and these goons seem to be unable to handle... oh dear, that's not good. Unable to handle a wall with the tank behind it. Another tank on the high ground, that's pretty pro. And it seems like Iron is finally starting to learn to use high ground. That's pretty good, because of course you can't really be hit from the high ground, and if you are shooting from the low ground up to the high ground, you've got about a 30% chance to miss. And if you place a siege tank here, a goon would stand here, still not be able to reach it without range, so you basically have free damage zone around here and there, and it would be a rather messy affair for probes to try and break in. Now, Iron hasn't got the contain up. It's not as harassy as I remember it. There are a lot of tanks, a couple of vultures, But these tanks shut down these goons so hard, it's not really funny. And what Purple Wave, Magrave, sorry, should do at this point is just take more bases and wait until Iron comes out and not funnel all these goons in that choke. Now the vultures are out and they're going to take that poor zealot to pieces quite easily. There it goes, another one. So at this point Magrave's really sending out units one at a time, and that's not really something you'd like to do. Iron taking map control, placing mines at every expansion to just keep an eye on it. Nice tank on the high ground, again in case this natural gets attacked somehow. You've got this defensive position. Might have a couple of tanks here because that's some kind of reasoning that bots don't really do. They think, well, we need to protect this and we are going to protect this from the route, factories, ram, so. And they don't really reason, well, if we send tanks like this and place them here, we control this lot and we are not vulnerable anymore to zealots or any other kind of melee unit. Might even place them here if you break down the power generators, and you've got a quite impregnable base for Terran versus Zerg. Magrave with another base, but by this time the army supply is completely out of control, and Iron with the mech push, it's frightening how quick he's doing that. Now going, I think, for a third, this SCV going to kill the mine, place a command center, and that's how you do that trick. The Vanguard, vultures killing all the zealots. We've got a Wraith killing the Reaver, and that's how you do it. You make an air weapon with which you kill the anti-ground weapon, and then with the ground weapon you kill all the rest. So Terran quite dangerous at this point. The Reaver hasn't fired a single shot, it doesn't really dare to cut to grips with these tanks. And of course then there are the Wraiths, so every time this goon is a little bit in the rear, ooh, that's one Scarab, but it doesn't really do all that much damage. And army supply wise, Iron's up almost 60 to 10, and with the third base finishing up, third base all Magraves is there already, but it's just gateways and Reavers versus a concerted mech push such as Iron's. It doesn't really do you much of good, does it? So that's that. Going to call the GG because I don't really have that much time for this week's broadcast, and we did that awesome 3 versus 3 of Nightcats in the beginning, which took 20 minutes. So yeah, not seeing Iron giving this away. Going into the next game, and that is a nice update by Eric Hammer. Eric Hammer is our resident Zerg, has the orange in the 8 o'clock position. In the 2 o'clock position as the brown Terran, we've got Ice Lab. Ice Lab, story is known, is one of the older bots, but it's pretty good. It has got insane macro and pretty good micro. It's playing pretty safe usually, but it's doing so very well. And Eric Hammer, being based on Steam Hammer, as the name gives away, something a little bit like that, is, well, Eric Hammer, Dark Eric, is working very hard at that. So, interesting to see how it will fare against Ice. Going for a quick Spire, and Ice going for the usual bunker with a quick command center behind that. If you've got a quick spy coming at you, I think there is going to be a quick bunch of muters. With the 2 base, it's going to be 2 base muter, and you either need to scan that or have quite a nice army of medic marine ready. Perhaps even with a couple of turrets, because marines and medics are not as fast as muters. Ice going to play it safe with another bunker and a turret, so it has scanned, it does that, it's got the comsat and it scans the enemy base. So it will scan for muters, because one of the big enemies of Icebot was the Berkeley Overmind, which relied solely on muters to harass all over the place. And one thing that must be said is that the older bots had good scouting, so if they didn't see anything here, they'd just fly in, killing a bunch of stuff and then move out again. And these muters are... there is a very scary depot out here somewhere, and now there is a Goliath. And perhaps now they will come after the Goliath, but before that they could have killed a lot of SCVs, which they didn't. And if you are going to play 2 base muter, now they could have killed these Goliaths easily, but they don't for some reason. I find that puzzling. Of course, the main is barricaded with 2 bunkers full of marines, 4 turrets. You're not going to get anything done there with muters. But this base is wide open. Kill this SCV, hit that depot, fly around the back, kill more SCVs. And for some reason that's very hard for Zerg to do, to just decide, well, where am I going to attack, where am I going to hurt the enemy, and how I'm going to play the game in general. Because this is a 2-base muta game, a 2-hatch muta build with mutas doing damn all. And that's just 1,000 minerals and gas flying around being pretty. Of course, Ice Lab is laughing its head off right now, going for more tech, just making more units, and as you can see, lots of Goliaths. These mutas can't get anything done anymore. I think that's the Goliath range upgrade, and Dark Eric should either take more bases, just out macro the enemy at this point, or do something, please, with these mutas. What the bloody hell is going on? Now Ice even adding insult to Valkyries and Goliaths, it's going to be able to beat back these mutas quite easily, and with all the turrets and with the 2 comsats, I don't really think that this 2-base lurker build is going to do much good. Then again, Dark Eric going for more bases. Ice slipped out an SCV and built another base there as well. And that's something that Zerg could take advantage of, because a couple of Zerglings to check out the map, to see where the enemy's got bases, hit that. Because these mutas are now staring themselves blind on these dangerous depots, and this army here is trying to contain it, which is working obviously. But if Ice gets up a third, it has that much more resources and it can stay in the game longer. So it won't really be beneficial to let that happen. And with 5 links you could shut down all these SCVs, this base completely, and then these Goliaths would have to wobble over all this way here, which would take forever. And Ice even taking a 4th base, and that's just well, that's the low-hanging fruits of Zerg, and the one low-hanging fruit must be to please do something with these mutas. Please, sir, I implore you. But Eric Hammer taking more bases, which is always good. It's got 3 additional bases up. Some of them have been sparsely populated for some while. Making more units, and it's only Goliaths. Please do something. Just leapfrog a couple of lurkers in there, and there are no tanks, only Marines and Goliaths, and 1 science vessel. But what can you do with the science vessel? Please do something. Oh, it's so aggravating to see you all just wobble away with all these stupid lurkers. Just attack! Oh, it's now a couple of lurkers, kill a couple of Goliaths, and then they unburrow and die. Where are the lings? Okay, well, this is a start. Couple of Goliaths snuff it. Oh, and finally they have found a base, and that's what mutas are good for. Just harassing the enemy. Oh god, three Valkyries, and all, oh god, all the what are they called? The Hydras are being morphed into lurkers. And yeah, there is a thingy overhead, so that's not going to work. And I think Ice is even going to save the command center. Would be nice to repair it though, but we'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, a refinery is being taken here. I don't know what that's about. 2 lurkers come and shut that down. But Ice is being let out the bag, and that's not good. I think this is going to burn down, but the 3rd is up. Main's running low, but oh, it's going to be hit again by this handful of units. And Ultras, so that's quite a wacky game plan. And this SCV has taken about 200-300 hit points of that single hatchery. That's insane. That's really insane. Just go for it. It's only SCVs, you stupid punks. Oh god, it's... Yeah, let's move the entire army all across the map, run into all these Goliaths here, and that 4... dear oh dear oh dear. It's not really... much work could be done on that department, just a little bit more awareness. But then again, Dark Eric Hammer is fighting quite well against Ice Lab, and that's something to mention as well, because it's not an easy opponent by all means. It does drops, it's got very good macro, and its mech push is pretty good. This, okay, I think something's seriously amiss with the engagement decisions of Eric Hammer. Eric Hammer now has a huge amount of minerals, and no gas and no Zerglings. Ice has got a lot of minerals too, but Eric Hammer is really falling to parts because it's not really making any units. Build more, just build, I don't know, thousands minerals worth of zircon. The same goes for ice. Build a lot of vultures, do something with that money. Do something with that money, and that saturation is really quite high. The worker numbers for ice are off the scale, but Eric Hammer isn't getting its stuff together. It's attacking single ultra at once, another ultra at once. The Hydras aren't really committing. 20 lings and you'd sweep this bunch of silly Goliaths off the map in no time, but it's so frustrating. Just build a large army, a move, that's it. GG. And that's really all you should be doing. But regardless, it's not really going to work at this point. Ice is nearly maxed, it's going to push for the main, and once it's pushed in the main, all these units of Dark Eric Hammers are being cut up piecemeal. 2 Goliaths. Yeah, Goliaths are pretty bad against Ultras, but 1 or 2 Ultras at 20 Goliaths, it's not going to work, is it? And supply-wise, Eric Hammer is not really doing stuff. We've got a drop here, we've got a drop... Oh no, that's another drop. That's again a couple of buildings by Icebot. Some Ultras here, but yeah, you're losing a base there for no reason, and you've still got 2k minerals. So a couple of more hatches, a couple of more Zerglings, and just make stuff, attack things, and kill things. This is good. Finally a critical mass of Ultras, but they're going after the command center while there is a fleet of siege tanks here, and they are attacking only one at a time, which means lots of splash damage. And although the tanks are quite cut up at this point, ice dropping a little bit in supply, 1 base of Eric Hammers got killed, and the Goliaths are being fed so many units one at a time. It's just not fair, it's not good. Eric Hammer should just make units, attack, and go. Now they're going for this base, which is good, because it's undefended. And ice seems to be put on the back foot now. It was maxed now at 150, and this base is going to be shut down, putting it back on only 1 base here, 1 base there, which is quite exposed. Now the Goliaths come off, and you can see with a couple of lings how much damage you can actually do. The tanks fall quite rapidly, more tanks in the back and no support. 1 tank is going to go after these siege tanks here, 1 Goliath, and it's doing quite well, but the engagement numbers of Eric Hammers are so small. It's 4 Hydras and an Ultra here, 3 Lings there, 1 loose Ultra there, and Ice is just fighting very cost efficiently at this point. But finally Eric Hammer is coming to grips and now playing Minesweeper with Ultras, which is a bad idea, I need not tell you. Finally, the drop of Goliaths getting shut down a little bit more rapidly, and Ice still at 150, Eric Hammer at 100. The Valkyrie fleet is out of control, considering there are no more air units for Eric Hammer. That is quite overdoing it. 2 vessels, and Eric Hammer gaining 10 supply. Now with the units going again for this base here, but being detracted by the Goliaths, moving back in, moving all about, and by this time you could just 5 lings here, 5 there, and you'd win the game. But of course that's quite difficult, because you need to envision the map. Ooh, that poor Overlord gets shot by at least 10 Valkyries. And now these Hydras... Oh, come and help these 2 Ultras here, 3 Ultras, please! It's just a question of moving stuff, trading stuff. The enemy's only got 2 bases, please. And that's really hard for AIs to figure out where to hit the enemy, because they don't really have a concept of the enemy, they just have got rules. Well, if something looks something like this, do something, and they don't have the full picture. So they don't see that this is no longer a base, and it doesn't really do to waste 30, 40 army supply to kill off a lone comsat and a refinery. And if you are going to do that, I'll do it quickly. You just got to hit this base, because here's where the money's coming from, and that's the base where the money's coming from. The natural is gone. So just let those silly Goliaths with their 10 Valkyries sit here. Don't move drones into there. Just send 10 units here, 10 units there, take the map, make units, move, GG. But nevertheless, Ice Lab is dropping below 150 supply. And Eric Hammer is going to lose an Ultra again for no reason, and a drone again. And all it would have taken is to kill this base, or this base or that base. And that really something which could be improved upon, and especially with the University of Alberta bot Steamhammer family. Just make a decision maker where you'd line up all the bases and you say, well, the enemy is there, and these bases are protected with force of X, and that base is protected with a force of Y, and if my force and mobility are greater than Y, we take that base out. And before the enemy is there, we will be miles away, and let's not congregate here for some reason. Now Eric Hammer is trying to engage this, but not really. You see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 ultras die for no Goliaths killed, and then you are fighting Goliaths with ultras, so you're doing something decidedly wrong there. Icelab, meanwhile, is mining out its third, and Eric Hammer's got more bases, so it would be okay. It's losing one and all. That's unfortunate, but I think perhaps in the long run it might sustain the push. And Ice is trying to retake that base, which it instantly does. 2 Lings run by, and they think, oh, let's not, for some reason. And again, 2 Ultras move in here, die needlessly. Oh, they kill the Goliath. Oh, hello, that's pretty good. And this lot of army is just not doing anything. Just, yeah, that's the ticket. Just attack. Attack, you've got the supply. Ice is dropping, was 140 earlier, now 115. And now you've got it, and don't move that stuff back, for crying out loud. What the bloody hell is there? 1 SCV, just plow it into there, take the main, and good game. So it looks like Eric Hammer has done it, or not, because the army has found this piece of the map quite interesting, and is trying to have a meeting. I would succeed in having a meeting there, but for what reason I don't know. Meanwhile, getting low on these bases here and there. Well, I still got 2 bases mining. Army supply is going down the tube because it's only 40, 50, and now the Hydras are in the natural. Ice has got a lot of workers still, but I think Eric Hammer by this point has done it, is now invading the main, killing the natural. Oh dear, oh dear. Ice under a lot of pressure, and Eric Hammer with the maps control it had, it's doing okay, and I shouldn't really be so hard on these bots doing silly things because they don't really have a clue, do they? But it's just the seemingly easy things for humans which are so hard for bots. These 2 bases without a single bit of defense have been mining for so long, and 1 lurker here, 1 lurker there would have finished it. And as a human player you say, well, that's very easy, but as a bot, how do you know where which expansion is undefended, when to hit it, how to hit it, with what unit? And you've got to need to write code for that to decide where to hit. Now Ice is quite dead and gone. It's got 33 army supply, 24 somewhere. It must not be stuck in. Oh no, it must be the Valkyries still, which are now being killed by Hydras. And Eric Hammer is getting out of control, building a lot of units, and going to do business. So Ice does get killed in the end, and Eric Hammer does win, which is a bit of a milestone if you are able to take down Ice in convincing fashion. Still work to be done, but of course, when is work ever done, especially playing Brute War AI? Oh yeah, that machine shop really should have it. This one perhaps too. And now the army of Eric Hammers is mulling about, and that really seems to be something of an issue with Eric Hammer, that it doesn't really have good map awareness. Ooh, that was an ugly mine hit. Doesn't really have good map awareness. Now it's found this base here, but the main army's still there, and if you are there, put 2 Lings on this. Yeah, it's going so fast with all the upgrades. That's that. Meanwhile, the entire army is moving all at one, and it's beautiful to see because it's swarming. Look at the minimap. It's just ranging from left to right, engaging now upon this base, engulfing it. And it's a nearly max Zerg army with only 43 workers, so that's quite something. Now trying to filter up the ramp, and this base will not be long for this world, I can tell you. Going to call the GG and move up to the next game because we've got Lucas Moravec, and I think I've got two more games after this one. We've got Lucas Moravec, which has been updated again by the author Lucas, and Alien has not been updated in a while. Haven't seen the author Xilmi for quite some time, but it's pretty good, so I thought, well, let's see how Lucas is going to do that. Going for a 2-gate early build, I think this is Island, and going for a couple of zealots, which is good because Zerg can only fight them with Zerglings. Now the firstlings are coming, but there is already zealot in the main. Ooh, and it almost got caught, but not quite. So for the time being, handful of Zerglings versus handful of zealots, always interesting. Lucas not really persisting, just adding a couple of no, not really persisting quite intently, building more zealots, and of course Alien is building more lings. Unfortunately, building two sunkens here. If you build them here, it's all done because you're not really going to get in there with the zealots anyway. But a small detail. Meanwhile, I think this is going to be the core by Protoss, and Lucas is going to face a Zerg. Look at all the zealots. The army supply is more than double for Protoss at this moment, and the zealots still running. That's really something you should keep an eye on. But what do you know? 3 hatcheries for Zerg at the moment. Worker-wise, Protoss ahead because it's so easy to get high probe numbers of Protoss. Oh, and look at this concave, look at this, I'm going to slow this down. Look at the concave of Alien. 2 groups of Zerglings, not too thinly spread. And these zealots, if they move in here, they see this entire mass of Zerglings, and they can't really get anything done. 2 goons coming now, so perhaps that might tip the balance. No tech coming from Alien, that might be deciding, because with a couple of mutas you could shut down a lot of harvesting here. And it looks like we're going to be seeing some kind of Templar tech, or perhaps the leg upgrades. Oh, but now the Zerg is coming, and although the numbers are inferior, if you are running with this Protoss army, and if a goon stalls in the middle of the map, you lose 6 army supply for nothing. And if you are not going to fight, this is going to snowball way out of control, and going to be pretty ugly. Zerg doing this all... oh, that's probably going to be some kind of tech unit. And Protoss losing a lot of units. There is even a drone coming along for some reason, and Lucas is not really fighting, and now army supply favors Zerg. These goons, they haven't fired a shot all game. Oh, there's 1, 2, and only now, when the Protoss army is fighting, they're doing quite well against the Zerg force, but it's too late. It's way too late, and this drone is doing God knows what. The lings are all over it, and as you can see, the lings in... we saw Eric Hammer earlier, which units didn't really fight. These lings of Aliens are so aggressive, they're so on point. Every time they see a gap, they take a headbutt at it. And going to see, I think it's going to be a lair with some kind of lurker follow-up, but this time Lucas has bitten the dust already, and that is that. So, this is the number 1 versus the number 3. It's Microwave doing quite well against Iron, and we saw Iron earlier taking down one of the better Protosses, McRave, in convincing fashion. Question is, how is it going to fare against Microwave? Microwave, of course, being Zerg, not really shown in the 3v3 free-for-all, or 3v3 melee, is it? Iron taking a nice gate. Oh dear, that's that. Should keep an eye on that. Vultures meanwhile killing lings in the middle of the map in 2 additions. And it's interesting to see that Iron is walling off the main and not the natural, because it's only 5 seconds drive for an SUV. And you'd have direct access to your own natural, so that's that. Meanwhile, I think we are going to see some kind of Hydra play out of Microwave. And these vultures of Irons are taking down these lings so handily. It's almost unfair, and if you use something like this, you either need to get out a Hydra pretty fast or build a sunken, because these vultures can do this all day, and if you've got 1 Hydra, it's going to fall. So these vultures are killing so many units that it's not really funny. Ironbot at 26 workers. Oh, now with the mines too. I think this is going to be an uneven battle, because although the Hydras managed to clear up most of the vultures and some of the mines, I think in the long run Iron has done the damage it needs to have done. It's 28 versus 8 workers. Total supply is more than double. Expansion for Iron is up, and the expansion of microwaves has been sadly depopulated. And now these Hydras venture out into the map, being hit every once in a while by a vulture. Perhaps going to take a mine! Ooh, that was very lucky. But once the vulture numbers are too big, they take down any Hydra in their path. And that's that. The natural being under attack again. And although the Hydras do well again, SCV production is way off scale. It's 4 times the SCV for Iron at this point. And upgrades are coming, tanks are coming. And all the Hydras out on the map are going to fall like fleas. No kind of tech by Microwave. Going for a lot of gas. It's got 400 gas and no minerals. The tanks are here, and now with the mines in the natural, I think that Iron is saying, well, number 3, number 30, whatever, I'm just going to kill you, and that's the game. The last game of today is krasi0. It's the number 2 on the total ladder. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a moment, if it loads quickly. We've got, sorry, not so fast. We've got Ironbot with a win rate over of 86%. Then a little bit lower krasi0. Basically krasi0 only loses to Ironbot, so that's where that's coming from. Then we've got Steamhammer. Oh, Steamhammer and Microwave are about equal. Then we've got Killerbot, and then we've got a lot of bots in the 60-70 win range. The win rate is higher for bReaver, but it's played lesser player, as you can see by the ELO rating. ELO rating of Iron is 2,439, a little bit lower, and then it takes a huge dive of 100 points. So basically, it's Iron, then krasi0, and then the rest. And that's what it's going to look like for the foreseeable future, because Iron is so strong already and being pushed by Igor Dimitrievich all the time. I can't really see it falling too hard unless one of these, one of the guys working on the Steamhammer University of Alberta bot line is going to do one hell of a breakthrough, or TSMU picks up development of one of his bots again. Perhaps he could do something about that. krasi0 is very, very solid. It's just a monster to behold, very safe. Very good versus early aggression, and its mech push is insane. Earlier we saw it hold out against 3 TSMU players on Big Game Hunters for quite a while, which was interesting to see. It is so good in defense, it's really out of this world. Oh, and now we've got a handful of Lings. Bunker by krasi0 is already up, and there is a Marine and a couple of SCVs to come and help and defend. They go back once again, and that's not really how you should do it, because if you arrive here and the Lings are not attacking, you move back. By the time you've reached your minerals again and the Lings are there, by the time the Lings have had 10 seconds to attack it, the SCVs haven't come back here and all. But now of course we've got SCVs at the natural. SCVs 25 versus 16, and Steamhammer is going, it looks like, for some kind of a 2-base Utah play. Have we got, no, we haven't got an academy yet, so we haven't got a comsat. krasi0 doesn't really know what's going on, but just built one turret for good measure. Now going to move out with the air cover, or scouting air cover, of this eBay, and yep, the first muters are popping now. So that's what it's going to be. A couple of muters and the third base of Steamhammers, and the muters are going to town on this poor defenseless eBay. Meanwhile, worker numbers of Steamhammer are pretty low, only 16, and although this eBay may perhaps probably snuff it, krasi0 by now knows of the muters and is building turrets all over the place. The main is impregnable, quite impregnable versus AI muters for the time being. and probably building Goliaths and all. So yeah, that's that. The Mutas and the Lynx are trying to attack, but there is a Vulture dealing with the Lynx quite well, and this bunker with the repair is doing quite well against this small flock of Mutas, and the eBay lives too, so that's, I think, a win for krasi0, even though the third of Steam Hammers did just finish. And that's what I like about casting games of these high-ranking bots. They are so adaptive. Every time they see something, they immediately counter it, and if they are going to attack, they take an expansion behind that. And that's really the difference between a bot that's starting out or a bot which is has been improved for quite some time. It's all these little things compounding into quite a formidable adversary, and krasi0 has been working on his bot for years and years, and it's so very sturdy and robust. It's out of this world, and if ever it finds a way to take the lead of Iron, it will be in a position to defend that, because its defense is out of this world. It's so very solid. It doesn't make barely any mistakes. And as you see now behind this, so many Goliaths, not really playing its playing very cautious, just taking a nab at every muta here and there. And the drone numbers are up a little bit. It's 20 versus 45. Army supply wise, krasi0 is more than doubling Steam Hammer at this point. No, it's about dead equal, sorry. Workers are double, army is equal, and there we go. krasi0 going, I'm going to speed it up just a notch because this is going to take forever. This muta flock is posturing, and it is not really flying around the back trying to hit these SCVs, because you could quite easily do that. These Goliaths, they can't really move over to here, and if you were just to fly around the back, this turret couldn't hit you. You could kill 10 SCVs, fly through into the main, kill that turret, kill more SCVs, kill that turret, and be on your way out. But that's not something Zerg are doing at the moment. These mutas are being used for map control or not, and the muta numbers are growing, and there is no droning or expanding or teching behind that, and that's really a tactical error. And I think that a Killerbot is only one of the only Zerg at this moment which has understood that if you are going to build a unit, you need to fight with it or achieve some other clearly defined goal. And if you have reached that goal or are trying to reach that goal, you need to follow it up with something logical. So in this case, these units are being used as containment units, but behind that you'd expect much more expansion, perhaps some harassment, and not moving them in and out all the time, losing hit points and taking damage, because that's not beneficial at all. krasi0 are now taking the third, and krasi0 army supply is getting out of control. Fourth being taken by Steam Hammer, but krasi0 sitting back in the natural, just teching up slowly. Vessel done, Goliaths done, and now the push is rolling. And what have you got to stop it? 10 Hydras, 10 Mutas, there are 20 Goliaths here. What are you going to do? You should have built more units, because now the Vultures and a couple of SCVs are out here. The Goliaths are out there. You're never going to stop that with any number of Mutas. You're never going to. These Hydras versus a mech army, what is your plan? What will you do? The composition is off. And once the tanks are in the natural, look at that, all the mutas, they drop like flies, hardly a Goliath is dying, and that pretty much is the game. Oh, this Goliath might just die, but it doesn't. And now the Zerg army has been reduced to 5, and the Terran army has been upgraded to 90. Of course, the Ultra Den is there, but the Ultra Cavern, Hydra Den, Ultra Cavern, lots of bases have been taken, but in the wrong order, so the Zerg army died for nothing, basically. Didn't even touch the poor science vessel. And it's just a general strategy thing that's wrong with this Zerg's play. Now krasi0 will need to advance a tank to outrange the Sunkens, or just kill it with all the mech units it's got. It doesn't really matter at this point. krasi0 being a little bit hesitant, just say, well, let's go and kill those things. Yeah, there we go. A couple of Goliaths. They're not really the sturdiest, but if your army supply is 10 times that of your enemy, the enemy's economy is in tatters. Look at it, no mining going on anywhere over here, and there just a little bit, and still building a muta. That's just not going to work. And krasi0 with a lot of depots in the choke to the third, more factories out on the map. Main of Zerg looks like this, and that's basically the game. So yeah, stick to your bot, persevere, and if you are going to do something like a contain, follow it up with something logical. Either teach your bot how to reason it out by itself, or tell him how to do it, and there you go. For the time being, Iron still stands on top, untouched. krasi0 solid number 2, and then we've got the rest. So keep working hard, and a special thanks to Nightcat for doing those awesome 3 versus 3 team games. I hope to get my hands on a couple of replays, because I really like to show you what's going on in detail. And that was this week's broadcast. Thank you for dropping by. Do visit our website to watch these bots play 24/7, 365 days a year. You can also learn how to play against these bots and learn to code them yourself. This was this week's broadcast of the Student StarCraft AI Tournament. I wish you well and say till next week. Goodbye!